Today I thought I would share some of my favorite journals that I've made over the years. I have made many journals, many more than this, but I can't share all of them because we'd be here all day. And I haven't made a video in a little while, and I've been busy with the holidays and other things, so I thought I would record this because I'm always interested in seeing journals that other people make, so I thought there might be some interest in this. And then I'm going to take a break for a couple of weeks or so from making videos, and I'll be back in the new year with some new journals that I've made to sell, and also hopefully some mixed media projects. So first of all, I wanted to say that some of these journals I've showed how I made them in videos, but not all. I will post a playlist, a link to the playlist in the description box below this video if you would like to watch any of them. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to just share them quickly because I have not worked in most of these. They're mostly blank inside. But anyway, this is the very first journal that I made many years ago. I can't remember exactly, but my guess would be about 7 or 8 years ago. And I just became obsessed as soon as I made this journal. I think it's fine the way I made it, but I changed the way I make journals these days. But I also make a lot of different journals too, so you can't, I don't make them just one way. Anyway, I followed a tutorial on how to sew the pages in with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. It's the first time I had ever done it. And you know how sometimes you don't really know what you're doing, but you just jump in with like no fear? So that's how I made this journal. I didn't really know what I was doing, honestly, but I did it and I was hooked immediately. So this is a gel print, this and this, and then this is scrapbook paper. This is bookbinding tape, and then this is washi tape. So that's how I made that. This is just a piece of some kind of handmade paper. I think this is from a scrapbook paper kit, and then a metal piece from, I think, Tim Holtz. And I used some of my eco prints on the inside, some other papers. A lot of eco prints in this one. I haven't used this journal, and I probably never will. I don't want to do anything to it because I love a lot of the pages. Maybe I could clip things into it. I don't know. I did add that to it. This is from Eco Printing with Chrysanthemums, and to be honest, I have never been able to reproduce that look. I don't know what I did, but whatever I did, it worked out really well. More that's actually gel printing. So I'll just flip through this quickly. These are some of my best eco prints. This is watercolor paper. Maybe that's why they turned out the way they did. I don't know, but I love the way this journal looks. Look at that page. I just love that so much. This is the gel print. And then, yeah, that's about it. I put these little envelopes. I used to do this on journals I made long ago, but the company that was making these stopped making them. I haven't seen them come back. I know I can make them on my own, but I haven't done that. So let's go to this one next. I'll try to do this a little more quickly. I did this for a challenge of sorts. The challenge was to use black and white exclusively and Stencil Girl stencils exclusively. So I put this together using some handmade paper and that I got on Amazon, and it's really thick, nice paper. And then I tore the edges into this size. I used a chain stitch binding, if you can kind of see there, and then I just tied these randomly. I actually made these beads the one and only time that I've made handmade beads, and I just thought they turned out really nicely. I should do that again anyway. So my theme was circles and in addition to black and white. So I put this running around in circles on the front, and then I made little collages on each page using circle stencils and other circular items like that. I'll go through this kind of quickly. I really like the way this turned out. This was a fun challenge. It was a real challenge for me because even though I do a lot of vintage and sort of brownish things, black and white was a challenge for me, and we were able to use gray if we wanted to. Oh, and I forgot that there was a little vintage book that we were to use the pages, and that's what the book was called, 13 Days Adrift. It was not really even a book, more almost like a pamphlet. So everything, all the papers in here are from that book that I just stenciled and painted over. Okay, let's do this little one. This was another sort of challenge to pay homage to an artist, and I really love Seth Apter's work, so I decided to do that. I used a structure for the journal that I learned from a class that I took from him, and then I, designed the cover. This is a little mini vintage book that I just used the front and back covers of. I hope that makes sense, but I can't tell you exactly how I made it because it was a paid class that I took. So then I just decorated it in what I think is the sort of Seth Apter style, but I happen to like the style myself, and I used some of his stencils in the book. I just love all the texture. I just had a lot of fun putting this together. Some of this is washi tape. It's a little sort of like a fabric paper that I bought. I just love all the details. I'm in love with my own little book. This I embossed onto plastic and attached it there. This one too. And that one too. This page opens up. More plastic embossing. And that's the end. This is a real leaf that I just pressed and glued right on there, and it's held up really well. This is some washi tape here that I need to obviously glue on a little bit stronger. So that's this book. I have to go a little bit faster because I'm going too slow. So this is a little book I made with a real leaf that I put some glossy like Mod Podge or something on. Obviously I used a stick for the spine, and then I put some of my eco prints and other papers in there. This one is completely empty or inside. This is a journal I made in a class I took, and I just love it. It was to do with family. That's a picture of my my great grandmother, and this is my mom and her sister and her brother. She had more siblings, but those are two of them. This is my mom's thimble. I added in here because it was hers. And not all of this is to do with family because I don't have a lot of family photos, but there's a picture of my mom when she was a little girl. And then there was some rusting, some image transfers. That's actually me as a little girl. In my cool sunglasses, and then like you can see a lot of rusting of papers and fabrics. These are people I don't know, just vintage images. I have not done much in this book, as you can see. Again, people I don't know, but I do love the way it looks. Someday I will get to it and I will do some more. I just glued, that's that same picture from the front, and I just stapled some things there. Did some sewing, not snowing. This is a picture of my grandmother and my great-grandmother. It's an image transfer, so it's not super clear. And then that's me again, and that same picture from the front. I just use these slides as a frame for these pictures. And then that's my beautiful mom. Again, it was printed on here, and then some other distressing, so it's not super clear, but that's my beautiful mom. And that's that book. Okay, faster, faster. I'll just show you the cover of this one. I took a class and learned how to make this journal. I spent 2 days tearing, stitching all these little individual pieces and all these stitches on here. It was a lot of fun to do, but it was very difficult. I actually got a cramp in my fingers from all the stitching at one point. All of these fabrics I already had, a lot of them. Some of them are rust dyed. Some of them I dyed this blue color, and so on. And I had dyed this doily, so I already had all this. I just put it together, and it was a lot of fun. I used this doily that I had rusted on the inside. I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, I'll flip through really, really quickly. I'm starting to work in this journal, but I haven't done that much in it yet. It's one of my favorites for sure. Okay, this is another one of my favorites. I showed how I made this one, and man, this is a video that got so many views. It was crazy, amazing, surprising. I did a tab stitch binding, so if you want to see how I made this, it's in the playlist. I made it about, I would say maybe 3 years ago or so. I don't know, it's not very recent, but I showed basically how I made the whole thing and put it together. This is for sure one of my absolute favorites. I have not done very much inside of this one either. It just needs a little bit of things added to it because it's already quite busy. Someday I will get to it. I think I'll leave that one for later. I made this one from another class. Again, a lot of hand stitching. I decorated these fabrics with some stencils and paint, as you can see. Doily that I had already dyed and had in my stash. I put a lot of beads on this one. I loved making this journal too. It's fabric cover, and then I have not done a thing in here, but it has some interesting papers, as you can see. Okay, then I already showed that one, and then I have some holiday journals. I'll do Halloween first. This is another class I took on how to make journals in this style. This is this one I remember exactly. It's an Amity Bloom class that I took, and I love this style. I made a couple of these journals. I kept one for myself because I loved it so much, and it was a lot of work. It's very time consuming, but I loved putting it together. So I'm not going to show the whole thing because I actually have a flip through of this journal in actually that's a different playlist. It's not a journal making video, it's a flip through. So I'll also post a link to my journal flip through videos, and if you want to see that whole thing. This one is made in the same style, but for Christmas, again, I made a couple and I saved one for myself because I just loved it so much. This is one of my favorite parts. It has this little flip up and a little tag in there. I added some beautiful little charms to it. I just love this journal. And then finally, I made a Christmas journal. This one was my own design. I made this, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years ago, honestly, and I put it in my Etsy shop every Christmas, and it never got purchased. So I decided this year, I'm just going to keep it for myself because I love it. I have these little charms here, and the cover is using a vintage postcard printout from the Graphics Fairy, I believe. And then I used a lot of fabrics and doilies and all kinds of things. It's vintage inspired, not actually vintage, but I love it nonetheless. It has a lot of pockets and designs or images that I printed off. Sheet music, a little flip through. Anyway, stamping. I am not going to go through this whole thing either. Look how cute that is. Because I have a flip through of this journal as well. So I will post links below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Quick showing of my journals. It's not really that quick a video. I hope everyone has a happy holiday, and I will see you again in the new year.